We need to be more conscious of how we're spending, of how we're consuming, of how we're generating these AI tokens, of what we're generating. How much energy are we spending to get what we get? Today's Tech Lab Brief, the artificial hypothesis. There's been this increased demand of the technology infrastructure because of this artificial intelligence that has evolved technology. What used to be a Google query, having to search through results, now just becomes ask the question and I get the answer back. And as we all know, that intelligence comes at a cost. For all this AI that we're using right now, how much of it is actually generating value? Virginia has started putting a visible price on the infrastructure behind data centers. So the state of Virginia is imposing an additional tax per kilowatt hour to these data centers for the electricity they consume. As we continue to use AI as a technology, we're starting to be more and more mindful of the costs behind that technology. So it really begs the question for us to bring more awareness, to be mindful of the true cost of the AI. Which brings us to our next story. Microsoft researchers estimate optimized frontier scale inference at a median 0.31 watt hours per ordinary query, but long reasoning and agentic queries require nearly 13 times more energy. So there's a cost of some number of dollars per million input tokens and a cost of some dollars for a million output tokens. There will always be more cost to generate the tokens than to read the tokens. So that there's one side of the cost, but then the other side of the cost is the energy consumption. The cost of electricity we measure in kilowatt hours. So there's a lot of bias when it comes to trying to assess the value of things with money. That's why here at BK Tech Labs, we're excited to share with you our third story of the day. BK Tech Labs publishes a meter, what we call the Joule hypothesis. The Joule hypothesis proposes to equate $1 to 1 kilowatt hour. 1 kilowatt hour is equal to 3.6 million joules, or megajoules. The experiment is whether recording the results and the capacity together improves judgment. On the new BK Tech Labs website, there's a banner here that talks about the Joule hypothesis being released as our first Tech Lab report. So we'll expand on all this in future briefs as we progress. And now, your Minute of Zen.